This is the Alcovy Trestle in Newton County, Georgia, the site of a bridge building during the Civil War and the site of two supernatural events that occurred here. I'm Bill Scott, and I am making history.
A distinct feature in northern Newton County, just outside the city of Covington, a railroad trestle rises high above the Alcovy River. Once the Georgia Railroad, it now carries CSX trains on the main line between Atlanta and Augusta, with this stage a jaunting northeast from Covington to the city of Social Circle in Walton County. It has been a filming location in recent years in television shows such as The Dukes of Hazzard and In the Heat of the Night. The landscape of the Alcovy Trestle at the intersection of Alcovy Trestle Road and Hazelbrand Road seems surreal and ominous, and for good reason. During the Civil War, these rail lines were a particular concern for both Union and Confederate forces. The Union wanted these lines destroyed to keep rebel armies from being reinforced or resupplied. This was a particular modus operandi of Union General William Tecumseh Sherman during both the Atlanta Campaign and the March to the Sea, as a way to kill Southern morale and their will to continue the war. In July 1864, Sherman gave orders to General Kenner Garrard to destroy the bridges over both the Yellow and the Alcovy rivers. On 22 July 1864, Garrard sent Eli Long and his 1st and 3rd Ohio Brigades to perform this task. The bridge was defenseless, and a part train full of passengers and steam barely got over the trestle before the Union soldiers got there, except for a line of baggage cars that were stranded on the west side of the Alcovy. Long allowed the frightened passengers to unload the baggage, then proceeded to burn the cars, the trestle, and the wagon bridge below on what is now Alcovy Trestle Road. What the Alcovy Trestle is more famous for are its ghost stories. There are some that still haunt many residents of Newton County to this day. During the 1940s, several African Americans were brought here to the trestle by vigilantes, made to walk on the tracks, and then hung where the track passes over the river. Once they had died, the vigilantes would cut the rope, letting the bodies fall into the river below. One of the most horrific was an African-American woman who was accused of seducing a teenage son of a well-known white family. She was pregnant at the time of her lynching and begged the kidnappers to spare her life and that of her baby. Those pleas went unheeded, and she was beaten and hanged. Many people since have seen an apparition of a young black woman walking from the river to Alcovy Trestle Road, holding her stomach and weeping.
Get this picture. 40-some years later, an event at the Alcovy Trestle Road Bridge over the river, which is where I'm about to walk over, has another ghost story. In August of 1986, 13-year-old Lance Barnes rode his bike from his brother's house to a place called Kitty's Store. While at the store, he played video games with two others, one being an adult named Johnny Wade. After playing the games, Lance loaded his bike in the bed of Wade's truck and took off with him, possibly get a ride back to his brother's and sister's house in nearby Porterdale, Georgia. That evening, Lance's beaten and strangled body was found in a short dirt path between the road and the river, which is down here. The next day, Wade was arrested. He was tried and convicted with murder in March of 1987. Similar to the phenomenon with the lynched African-American woman, the ghost of young Lance Barnes on his bike had been seen by numerous people. As said in an article in the Covington News from 2010, rumor has it that the boy can be seen pedaling his bike up and down the bridge, standing up on the pedals and going faster, looking straight ahead, perhaps trying to get away from the scene of his death.
I have sat on the edge of this trestle a few times since my family moved to Newton County in 1993. Most times there were few of any cars passing over the bridge. Though this line is still in regular use by the CSX Railroad, I have never seen a train pass over the river going east or west. I have never beheld the presence of either of the apparitions that have been said to haunt the rails of the road, but that doesn't mean they're not there. Hey, this is Bill Scott. Thank you so much for making history with me today. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment on the page. Tell me of what places that you might want me to feature on Making History. Thank you so much again for watching, and go make some history of your own today.